like to read.
Okay. Greg, any issues?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's not even about being frustrated. Sometimes it's optics are they carry weight. And when you have a team that, and I said this going into this postseason regarding this team, and it was one of the things that we had to agree as a team: remove the egos, remove the selfish agendas, and make it more about the team. When you are playing a football game, and this just happened, was this a playoff game?
It was.
Okay, so this is a playoff game.
They were leading the whole time.
Leading the whole time. Packers are in the game, though, struggling offensively. And I see one of my best players on the sideline reading a book.
A self-help book. Nice.
What am I to? What? Are you kidding me? What are you doing? Yeah. You're keeping yourself locked in. I find that, and I struggle attacking A.J. Brown in this moment, but I have to call a spade a spade. If I were on that sideline and I'm sitting next to a teammate and he's reading a book and we're playing a playoff game, I got a problem with it. What the? It doesn't even compute. Are we kidding? Are you kidding me right now?
Look at Devontae.
Devontae is looking like I don't even really want to look at him reading this book right now. The coach, you see the blue pad right there. The coach is standing right there. I mean, what kind of adjustments are you making? In that book, you might need that book. And I'm sure that book has played a huge role in him staying focused and being locked in. Man, look, there's a lot of things that I know and read and I take with me in the game mentally. I'm not going to bring it. I'm not going to bring Punxsutawney Phil on the sideline.
Or go into the blue tent.
Like that, put the coat on. Put the coat on, cover it up.
Let me ask you, you're going to sneak a book? If he's done this half of the season, do you, because look, we got this photo of him doing it at another game. And I hear totally what you're saying. If that was the first time he's ever done that, then I'm totally with you. Like, what in the world? Right. But if he does this regularly,
but I think that game, that Washington game, Jalen Hurts got knocked out there with playing backup quarterback and they lost.
Okay.
I'm saying, but look, I would rather him reading a self-help book that calms him down mentally as long as he still can perform than to have him on the sideline ranting and raving in Jalen Hurts' face about why I'm not getting the ball.
Like, I'm just saying, if he
does that, if it helps him, because it's not like he's out there not knowing the plays. His performance is fine. So if this helps him, I got to be honest, I get it. Again, if it's the first time, like, dude, what are you doing? But if he does this regularly and the teammates understand it, he needs his space. He's getting into his mind. I'm good with it. You know what? I would agree with you if it happened all the time. Well, that's what I'm wondering. That's the question.
If A.J. Brown in this game or in that game in Week 16 against the Commanders had 12 catches for $175, you think he reading that book? You think he on the sideline trying to get mentally right?
Clearly, by the way, does not happen all the time. The Eagles have been on Fox every game this year. They've had the #1 game a half dozen times. It's never been called on the broadcast. And so I'm not saying it's never happened, but the idea that this is just, it's mid-third quarter, book time is not accurate. And this is my frustration.
It's not like he's reading, some romance novel.
No, but I know.
He's reading stuff to get, how mental this thing is.
Exactly, and I've never taken a book.
So this is where I disagree with you, bro. I don't think he's reading that to get his mind right. I think he is reading that. I think it is performative.
Well,
I think it is to show the world how frustrated he is, but I'm doing it productively. And this is now the second time A.J. Brown has treated us like we're idiots. And it is, this maybe says.
What was the first time?
First time was
passing.
What needs to improve? Passing. And then 3 days later, what are you guys making a big deal out of this for? Like, what's going on? all of us are married. I'll speak for me, but I assume this happens with everyone. Sometimes you're like, oh, my wife's mad at me. It's very obvious.
Yep.
Has she yelled at me? Nope. Has she even said a cross word? Nope. But she's mad. And if I ask her what's wrong, you know what I get? Nothing. But I know you're mad. This is A.J. Brown. What do you mean? I said nothing's wrong. No, this is for me. This is for me. Let me read this book about dealing with frustration because I don't have catching the ball. But everything, no, you can't be mad at me. I didn't say anything. And you guys want to talk to me after the game about it? I knew it. You guys always making a big deal out of everything.
You guys making a big deal about my book.
About my book. I was thinking about bringing my Lego set out there and building something because that sometimes helps me calm. And we're not idiots. And this is, to me, the second. And this is, at some point, I think the ideal, Brew, is you're right. It is better than screaming at Jalen Hurts. But you know what's better? Not doing anything. You know what's better? Being a 27-year-old all-pro athlete that in the middle of a playoff game doesn't make the entire world know you're frustrated with how you're being used today.
Yeah. Listen. They're 100% spot on, Nick and Greg. And especially Greg, because Greg has been there. Greg knows. These are things that you're taught from such a young age. And if you ever actually have a real coach and you play on a real team that's actually truly competitive, you just not all about you. And A.J. Brown has caused problems on the sideline. I told you, I keep forgetting whether it was the NFC Championship game or the game before that, when the Eagles were winning, when they were rolling, and he was carrying on the sideline. He needed to be calmed down from Hurts, from Sirianni. Like, it was a whole thing. And I remember thinking, what are you doing? You're winning, and it was a game that Devontae had a huge game. And I was like, what are you doing? You should be celebrating Devontae, because when you have big games, Devontae's right there celebrating you. And Devontae was the #1 receiver until you got here. So, like, come on, man. Pick your boy up. And it's just not right. And I'm going to defend it later on, but I just want to talk about all the reasons why I don't think it's right. And then I will defend it to a degree as well. But it is. The optics aren't just for the media. It's for the rest of the team as well. Players look to other players. This whole idea of leadership and connection and family and emotions and all of that, it's a real thing. There are so many times in the middle of a game that you are looking to the other players to help you, to guide you, to lead you. There are many moments in the game, especially when you're not truly an elite player, which majority of the players on the team are not. That's just the way it works. You are looking to your real leaders, to your truly special elite players to help you feel like you still have a chance, or that you still have this game under control, or that everything is still okay. You are looking for the calmness. It's a real thing. You do this with children. The newer thing that they do with children is like when a baby falls, if you go, "Oh my God, are you okay?" They start to cry. But if you go, "Oh, you're okay, buddy," they just start to smile and laugh. Because they're literally looking to the parent to be like, how do I react in this moment? It's like that on the field, off that field, on the bench, in the locker room, on the bus to the games, on the plane. Especially these younger guys who are 23, 24. You are looking for the leaders. I've been in many games where I'm looking at someone to be like, can we win this game? And if like you see the guy who's your best player is like, no, you're just like, man, where do we go from here? And I remember I was on the team with someone where we were both the leaders. And it was like, I was doing a lot of work. He was doing a lot of work. And I went to him. I was like, come on, man, we need you. And he was just like, he got mad at me for saying that. I was trying to pump him up. I was trying to be like, you're a leader, bro. Like, we need this. We need you. And he was like, why don't you play better? And I'm like, and that was just his own insecurity. That was his own insecurity. I'm like, dude, I'm not saying you're not doing enough. I'm saying like, hey, man, like, come on, we got this. Let's go. And he got all mad. I was like, he was not a good leader in that moment. He was not, and I knew in that moment, oh, I can't rely on this guy right now. He doesn't have my back. He can't. And we still lost. But still, it matters. And Nick's totally right too, where like he does this and he's like, how dare you do this? And everyone in the comment section is out here saying, you're making a big deal out of nothing. You're making a big deal out of nothing. It's not nothing. Stop pretending like it's okay. Stop it. Stop it. What if the entire team read books? What if the entire offense was reading? You think that would look good? You think that would be okay? You think the defense would like that? Your eyes are supposed to be at the game. And someone said, you know, what would it be better? What if he was talking on the sideline to someone else and he wasn't talking about the game? You know, he was talking about God knows what. Yeah, that's part of it too. But it's still connection building with the team. When you're reading, you're alone. You're isolating yourself from the team. You're isolating. It is true. And that's in that replay, nobody wanted to even look at him. It makes everyone uncomfortable. There's also the feeling, uh-oh, A.J. Brown is upset. Uh-oh, Jalen Hurts is not doing a good enough job in this moment. A.J. Brown could be on the sideline being like, that's right, Jalen. That's right, big dog. Way to take care of the ball. Yep, way to use your legs and pick up that first down. That's what you do, man. That's what you do. That throw to Dallas Goedert, all right, let's go. Saquon Barkley's beasting. He's leading us right now. That's why we got Saquon, bro. That's why we brought you here. That's why you're the GOAT. Let's go. But instead, he's on the sideline reading. I don't care how frequently he does it. It's wrong. It's not right. It's not right. And this is where listening to an ex-athlete or an ex-coach 1000% makes sense. Because he knows the feeling. He knows how ridiculous. And other people say, well, isn't it better than him freaking out? Yeah, and there is another option. Man up. Be mature. Be a pro. And now this is where I'll defend him. If you made it this far. I can't wait for everyone to yell at me and not even make it this far in the video. I am incredibly sympathetic to mental health. I was literally a men's inpatient rehab therapist, all right? I've worked with, I can't even say it on here because the video will get flagged. Like, I worked with the most severely, I still got to figure out the best ways to put these, to put it into words, because every time I try to reference it, I'm always at a loss. But just the demographic of people that have had the worst things happen to them. Truly, the worst things you could ever imagine. You could ever imagine. Whatever you're imagining right now, multiply it by 10. They either did those things themselves or they were done onto them. I worked with the people that the world wishes just truly did not exist. All right? In the poorest, most rural facility where you would literally make more money working at, a fast food restaurant. All right. So I was literally on the front line. So when people talk about mental health, man, I know from professionally and personally, I've talked about how watching these shows, watching sports has like saved me for my own mental health, for my own drama, for my own sadness, my own depression, my own anxiety. There was moments in my life where I was holding on to football, holding on to sports, holding on to these talk shows where I needed to listen to Colin Cowherd talk for 3 hours. And then I needed another hour of First Things First. I was desperate. I would watch every single football game, every single basketball game, because I just need the noise to keep myself staying sane. So I get it. I really, really do. And if it truly is something that AJ honestly truly needs, and it's a conversation that he's just like, I need this, and he looks you in the eyes, and it's a real conversation. It's, I understand the way it looks, I get it, but I need this, man. I try so hard to be a team player. I try so hard to be a leader. I try so hard to manage my emotions, man, but my mind just gets to me. It gets to me, and I need this. I'm sorry, you got to give this to me. This is equivalent to, me drinking water on the sideline or having, a protein bar before the game. I need it. I need it. And if that's the real conversation, it's a real heart-to-heart, with Sirianni or whoever, and it's like, this is just truly what I need. Then you allow it. Then you do it. And I get it, because it is so mental. And that's right, Greg talked about all athletes, most people, not even just athletes, but like everyone's susceptible to great quotes, self-help. And self-help's $1 billion industry. Just go to self-help on YouTube and you'll see the most amount of more views on self-help stuff than, sports. I mean, like it's a $1 industry. And quotes and stuff like that, that's what music is. We all get inspired by that type of stuff. And I talked about this in my earlier video about this. It's like, I'm a huge sucker for that type of stuff. Again, this is what I studied professionally. It's what I did professionally. I got so many self-help books and I love quotes and I write them all down in my, notes app or take screenshots of like, quote memes and stuff. I still got videos saved, on my phone of inspiring type stuff. Like, so I'm all for that. I'm all for that. That's why I love Hard Knocks is like, you got the music going, you got the inspiring quote. Never say never, whatever it is. Like, I love that. I live for that. I'm sure, AJ Brown could be like, yo, read this line. I'll be like, dude, I'm feeling it. Let's go. So I get it. But there's still a time and a place. You know who also probably calms AJ Brown great? His kids. His girl. Does that mean that she needs to be on the bench with him? Like, and I know Brew's more open to this because Brew's probably thinking about it more of like, because he's very Christian. Obviously, he talks about that, and he's very religious, and obviously he's going to be more in touch with reading text and feeling that connection and that groundedness. And again, I totally wholeheartedly support that and respect that. But you're in the playoffs. You need to be with your team. You need to be fired up. You need to be connected. You need to be engaged. When you're reading, you're disengaged. It's that obvious. It's that clear. It's that cut and dry. And anything short of him having a truly honest, and it's got to be real. That part where you're almost welling up with tears, or you are with tears, where you're like, I need this. I'm trying so hard, man. And you know what? On the sideline, I need to be able to just read. And when I'm on the field, I bring it. When I'm on the field, I do everything that I can to ball out. In practices, I work so hard. In the gym, I work so hard. I got my diet. I never show up late for a practice for nothing. I am here and I am engaged and I'm ready to ball. But you know what? Sometimes on the sidelines, I need to read this book because if I don't, there's a real possibility that I unravel. There's a real possibility that my mind, it gets the best of me. You think I want to start fights on the sidelines? You think I want to mope at the end of a game? I don't want to do that. That's why I read these things. I'm trying to be better, and this is where I'm at right now. Yeah, it's easy to say, you know what? I don't need to read this book on the sidelines. It's easy for you to say that because you don't need it. I do. Anything short of a real man-to-man moment, a real heart-to-heart conversation, I just will disagree with it. I will disagree with it. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. I really hope you guys made it to the end of this because otherwise, I don't think you're going to get the full connection of the full conversation of this topic. Yeah. It's interesting. It's definitely interesting. But let me know in the comments below what you guys all think. I read every single comment. So whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions. Let's get in some fights. But ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We're building an amazing community here and absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to. Something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.